Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I see that Ahmed is connected. Harsh, Rajesh, welcome to the webinar. Can you please just put there in the comments where are you located, just to see where are you from? So we will just give some time for more people to join the webinar. Harsh from India, perfect. What time is it in India right now, Harsh? Tunisia, perfect. Hi, Ayman, how are you? Perfect. From Egypt. Hello, Ahmed. From Turkey.
Merhaba Mine. I can greet in Turkish.
So 10:30 p.m. in India, perfect. 9 p.m. in Dubai. I imagine it's very hot in Dubai right now, right? So, well, we have here journalists from Turkey as well. Mine. In Philippines, 1 a.m. in Philippines. Thank you, Arman, for connecting at 1 a.m. in Philippines. Amazing. 6 p.m. in Tunisia. Perfect. Great. So let's give just more time for people to connect. Great. Yes, you can start speaking in Turkish a little bit. So where do you live? Mine in Turkey, exactly. Another one from Turkey. Perfect. Mehmet. Mehmet. Okay. Welcome, Mehmet. Great, great, great. Let's give just a couple of more minutes. If you can also start putting on the comments what are you looking for to have from this webinar. If you can mention if you are interested in permanent residency, if you are interested in a study permit, work permit. Let me also, I will start sharing the our platforms. If you would like to start following us on our platforms, you have Facebook, Instagram, X as well. We have also our YouTube channel that we forgot to put it there, but you can find us also on YouTube. Okay, work permit, permanent residency, perfect. The webinar will be recorded. Let me see if it's possible to record the webinar. This is a very good question. The permanent residency study option as a backup. Okay, perfect. So amazing. Probably we will be recording. Let me just double check with my tech team if it's possible to record it. Yes, it will be recorded and we will be sharing in our platforms. Okay, perfect, Ahmed. Yeah, so you find us on LinkedIn. That's amazing. Perfect. Great, great, great. So, well, I can start the presentation. Just, well, let's just start because it's already 5 minutes. Great, great, great. Let's other people to join later. So, well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to welcome you to our very first webinar. I'm Melissa Rambide. I'm an immigration consultant. I'm also a CEO of Immigration Mobility Consulting Firm. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you all here today. During this webinar, we will be sharing immigration opportunities to immigrate to Canada. And we will be talking about, first of all, we would like to share our services, what we can offer you to come to Canada. We will be also talking about permanent residency, work permit, study permit, relocation, and how it's life in Canada. And at the end, keep all your questions. We will be monitoring your questions as well because we have at the end a question and answer session. It will be around 15 to 20 minutes so we can clarify all your questions. Well, as I was saying, so we will have different platforms where you can connect with us. So we have Facebook, we have also Instagram, LinkedIn. You can also go through our immigration mobility website, immigrationmobility.com, where you can upload your CV because we have a job bank there in case that you will be trying to find some opportunities, job opportunities in Canada. You can upload your CV and we can put you in contact with some employers in Canada that are trying to find also temporary foreign workers. Great, great, great. So sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on an insightful and informative journey with us today. We are a team of registered immigration consultants who will be guiding you today and clarifying all your questions. And before we begin, I want to express all my gratitude to all of you for choosing to spend your time, your valuable time with us today. So let's dive into the world of Canadian immigration. first of all, I would like to introduce our beautiful team. So, Journey, if you can start introducing yourself.
Yes, sure. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure having you all here. I'm a senior regulated immigration consultant. Today, I will be talking more about permanent residency pathways. I'm also very excited for all your questions.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome. My name is Mona. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant at IMCF, and I'll be covering the study permits for today.
Hello, everyone. We are so happy to have all of you here. My name is Juani Gonzalez. I am paralegal and international moving specialist. I will be talking about relocation.
Perfect. And we have also Isabella Restrepo. It's a paralegal, but she will not be joining today. Perfect. So we will start, first of all, with our values. We have 4 main values that we will be sharing with our clients every time that we will be offering any services. So first of all, we have transparency. As you can imagine, an immigration process will be overwhelming. So it's very important for us to be transparent with our clients since the beginning. So we have internal platforms, and our beautiful team and efficient team will also keep you updated in each stage of your process. We also have personalized support. So we have one first a video call with our clients to start the process, to explain how it works, clarify all your questions. We have a second call to verify all your documents, and a third call once everything is ready to submit. So that's why we are recognized from all other competitors to have this personalized support with all our clients. Of course, our client satisfaction is our guarantee. Each case is verified at each stage of the process and by different team members for just to make sure that your process and your application is perfect. So we always aim to perfection once everything is ready to submit to the government. And as I say, we're very efficient, and we understand that every one of you want to come to Canada as soon as possible. So we are always trying to deliver a smooth and complete process from A to Z. So one of our services, like these are our complete services that we would like to discuss today. So first we have recruitment. We're experts in recruitment. So we find the best candidates for Canadian employers. We also have, we help so many clients also in the visitors to come as well as workers, to come with a study permit, work permit. We have also translations experts that can help you to have this prepare for your application. And as Juani was saying, so she's the expert for relocation. She will be talking more about relocation as well. And we will be also touching based on permanent residency and citizenship, since these are very important process that we offer to our clients. So, well, I passed on Jaren. So Jaren can start with permanent residency applications and process.
Thank you, Melissa. So yes, I can understand that it's a dream come true to become a permanent resident, even a Canadian citizen in Canada. So the first step to get a Canadian passport, of course, to have your permanent residency granted to you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about permanent residency. Of course, it's impossible to cover everything, but I'm going to focus on the core and most prominent programs for you, to give you a very brief overview for each program. We submitted so many successful cases, and this is Jaime, one of our beautiful clients. He recently landed in Canada as a permanent resident. He was formerly a worker, but we also have clients all over the world who came to Canada very first time as a permanent resident. I will tell you how it is possible. So next slide will tell us about the express entry system. Probably many of you heard about express entry. Can we move, Melissa? Express entry is a program that is offered at a federal level, and I can tell you this is the fast-track permanent residency pathway. So that's why I'm going to talking a little bit more about this today. Express entry is a score-based federal pathway to offer permanent residency to foreign people. So you can be outside Canada, you can be inside Canada. It doesn't matter, because under Express Entry program, there are different streams. We will discuss in a sec. And what you need to do as a first step, of course, you need to check your eligibility. If you're eligible to create your profile on Express Entry. When I say a profile, it's very similar to creating a LinkedIn account with no pictures, but more in depth regarding the factors, of course, based on your age, education, language, or your job offer from a Canadian employer. Everything will make a mark on your score. So first, check your eligibility. Of course, you can create your profile by yourself, but there are things to be aware of. So that's why our professional support will help you to create the profile in a more consistent way, so that you don't see any surprises at the end. And for Express Entry, please note that the only restriction about the age is being, of course, 18 years old or older, but there is no upper limit. The reason I put 45 here, because after 45, you don't get any score for your age. So, but you can apply anytime as long as you are meeting the criteria. Once you are ready, once you find yourself eligible, you're going to need a language test, which is from a recognized institution, either in French or English. Then, if you are not a Canadian graduate, you have to also have your education assessed and have your education equivalences to create your profile, mainly if you're outside Canada. And then once you create your profile, you will appointed to a score. You will be granted to a score, and you will be entering the pool of candidates, where Canada will regularly check and send invitations to apply to eligible candidates. ITA means invitation to apply, and this is the key to apply for permanent residency in Canada. As I told you before, Express Entry is a kind of umbrella program. It consists of 3 different streams. Next slide, please. The first one, federal skilled worker. Second one is Canadian experience class. And third one, federal skilled trades. These are the 3 main streams under the same umbrella. Please note, these streams, this program is federal, but except Quebec. Quebec has their own special pathways. Melissa will tell you more about this. So if you are targeting all the provinces except Quebec, you can be eligible for Express Entry. And again, you've never been to Canada before, never visited, never lived here. It's okay. You can still apply through Express Entry if you are qualifying for any of these programs. Federal skilled workers, federal skilled trades means for people outside, not only outside Canada, but for these programs, you can be outside Canada with no previous Canadian experience. So there are some differences in terms of experiences. For federal skilled worker to be eligible, you have to have at least 1 year continuous, no break, skilled work experience. Of course, there are certain jobs. When I say skilled work, it includes certain jobs, not everything. In the last 10 years. For Canadian experience class, we are talking about 1 year of Canadian experience in the last 3 years. You should be gaining this experience through being in Canada physically, not a Canadian company as a remote work. Just be careful. And federal skilled trade, these are for people who are working in certain trades. When I say trade, I mean manufacturing, agriculture, plumbers, cooks, chefs, so many different occupations we are talking about here. And sorry, when we go back, you will see the icons. The reason we put some icons for federal skilled worker and federal skilled trades, for example, you have to be also eligible with certain amount of funds. But if you're applying for Canadian Experience class, you don't need to provide any funds. But language is a kind of must requirement for every stream. And for each language, each stream, the language level might differ based on the occupation. And one other thing to note here, maybe you heard about the scoring system. You can easily calculate your score and check what's your score actually. Is it 300? Is it 600? But just be careful. For federal skilled worker, you have to also meet the eligibility factor grid. This is totally different what we see in the rounds of invitation. And this is calculated, again, based on the very similar factors, but there is a different calculation. So overall, Express Entry seems very straightforward, right? You create your profile, you say who you are, basically, in immigration terms, then you will wait for to be invited. Creating a profile seems very simple. Like you need to go to IRCC's website, Canadian Immigration website, and create one. But just be careful. We had so many clients who submitted their applications DIY, meaning they did by themselves without getting any support, and they did a lot of mistakes and they received refusal. Refusals doesn't mean that you cannot apply again, but you have to be careful. As long as you are truthful, you are providing the correct information, you can still apply second time with a professional. And we did so many cases again, resubmissions, and we had the successful results. Just be careful. It seems very straightforward, but tiny detail in the document requirement can lead a refusal if you are not studying enough your area here. So, and in Express Entry recently, maybe again, you are aware that the scores are a little bit higher, especially after COVID right now. But in order to overcome this summer, Canada introduced category-based selection. What does it mean? In certain categories, especially in these 6 categories, if you are working in one of those categories, you can be eligible to be selected when they do category-based selection. And especially for French, if you have a certain proficiency in French, then you can be eligible to be invited, regardless of your occupation. This is very important because this will give a higher chance to you to be selected if you are especially working on one of these categories. Mainly for occupations, 6 months working experience outside Canada or inside Canada will be enough for the last couple of years. So in order to meet the eligibility requirement, you have to be aware of the eligibility criteria for each category, and we can help you with that. As Melissa was telling you, what we do firstly, we assess your profile without even creating your profile in the Express Entry. Because what we do, we don't take your word only as basis of our assessment. What we do, we ask you for proof documentation at the very beginning. We ask you to bring us the employment letters, bring us your education results, education diplomas, anything. So we first make sure that everything is proper and you are eligible to create a profile, and then we don't see any surprises at the end when we submit our applications for PR. Because after this thorough assessment, we will make sure that you will be this case will be successful. So when I say rounds of invitation, next slide will show you the latest rounds in the last 2 months. We usually expect to have invitation every 2 weeks. Sometimes Canada delays, but recently, as I was telling you, Canada introduces this category-based selections. And lastly, for agricultural occupations, for example, they did a draw. And you see, the score is was 354, which is really low compared to no program specified. When you see no program specified, it means Canada sends the invitation for everyone, regardless of their occupation category they are in. And that's why the latest score was above 500, which is really high. We used to have 470s, 460s before COVID, but we are expecting, thanks to these category-based elections, the pool will be kind of be a little bit smaller so that people can be selected. And be careful, invitation issues also very important to define the score. The more they send the invitations, like 3,000 people, the less you will see the score because they are getting more people out of the pool. Okay, you don't have 500 now, just now. What do you need to do? Okay, my colleagues Mona and of course Melissa will tell you about work permits, study permits to ensure your permanent residency. But I can also talk to you about one more thing, provincial nomination. Provincial nominations, so Canada consists of different provinces like British Columbia, maybe you heard of it. Vancouver is located in British Columbia. Ontario, Toronto is located in Ontario. So the beautiful cities located in different provinces, and each province offers a different provincial nominee system. I'm not going to be able to talk every province, but I'm going to focus on British Columbia and a little bit of Ontario. Every province offers different programs for permanent residency. And when I say provincial nomination, and I was telling you, if your score is not enough, this can be a good option because this will give you extra points, or this will lead you to PR, regardless of Express Entry profile. British Columbia is one of the fastest because, and our clients were very successful with this program, even if they are not in Canada. They never been to Canada before. So British Columbia, and I'm going to focus on the one stream only, skills immigration program, which is tied to Express Entry. For this one, if you are one of these categories, if your job is one of these categories, tech, healthcare, childcare, or animal health, then, and if you have a job offer from an eligible British Columbian company, you can create a profile in British Columbia platform. Very similar to Express Entry, but this time at the province level. So keep in mind, when I say provincial nomination, then I'm adding one more level to permanent residency. The first level will be provincial level. Then once you are granted for PR at the province level, you will apply the PR at the federal level. So all you have to do is, if you have a job offer, valid job offer, again, this validity, eligibility, we can support you. We can even help you to find an employer because of our network. Then you register your profile in BCPMP online platform. Then you will wait. In your profile, you will still be granted for some points based on the factors British Columbia is using. Then you will wait for the invitation. The good thing about British Columbia, and this is the reason they are the fastest track, they do the invitations every week. So you can get an invitation once you submit your profile today. If tomorrow is Thursday, I guess they do the invitations, you can be eligible next day. And once you get the nomination, you can apply. Once you get the invitation, you can apply and add the supporting documents. Again, at the very beginning, you don't submit any documents, but you need to be very careful because you have to prove for everything you set in your profile. Then you submit your documents. Once you get the nomination, which usually takes about 3 months, you can be eligible for 600 additional points for Express Entry. Okay, this is the very straightforward process as well, especially provincial level. The second thing I would like to talk to you about, Ontario. Ontario offers both express entry, next slide please, both express entry and non-express entry pathways. I'm going to focus a little bit more on non-express entry today, because usually express entry pathways are for already for the profile that have good amount of score. But for the others, again, if you have a valid job offer from a valid company from Ontario, you can create your profile on their platform in Ontario. If you under international students, foreign workers, or in-demand skills, these are based on the occupations, of course, then you can register, you can wait for the invitation. Once you are invited, you can apply and get nominated. Once you receive the nomination, it has nothing to do with points anymore. Once you get the nomination, this means you are technically approved for PR at the province level. Now it's your turn to apply for permanent residency at the federal level. One beautiful stream here, master's and PhD graduates from Canada. If you are from a valid graduate from an Ontarian university, you don't need a job offer. This is the beauty of this program. So far I talked about various scenarios and mainly focusing on outside Quebec. But we are also experts in Quebec. And Melissa has a license to serve you for all the immigration needs in Quebec. And that's why she will be telling you more about provincial nomination in Quebec. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jan. So perfect. Let's talk about Quebec. As you can imagine, Quebec has their own system for immigration. Some people, they think it's a little bit more complex. Some of them, they say yes or no. Well, I will explain you everything about Quebec. So, first of all, we have 3 different programs: Quebec Experience Program, Regular Skilled Worker Program, and Artificial Intelligence Pilot Program. So then for the 3 applications is divided into a step. So the first step is to apply for Certificate of Selection in Quebec. So this is the nomination of the province. And the second step is to apply for a permanent residency at the federal level. So then for CSQ, just to let you know, for the timelines, for the 3, it goes around 1 to 6 months, depending on each type of program. Then for Quebec Experience Program, we have 2 requirements. The first one is to have 2 years of work experience in Quebec. This needs to be a qualified experience. And then we have French skills that you need to demonstrate. It's a B2 level. It means it's an intermediate advanced level of French. And then we have regular skilled worker. So the requirements, this is a point system. It's the equivalent as express entry at the federal level. So for Quebec, we have this equivalent program. It's called regular skilled worker. So we will be using the ARIMA platform, and you will, first of all, you need to make sure that you have the points they are required in order to be eligible, and we can help you with that. We already help a lot of clients to get permanent residency through this program. So once we make sure your points are good enough, you will be putting yourself in the pool, and then you will be waiting for the invitation to apply. So it's the same system as express entry. Here, what we suggest to all our clients is to get the validation of your job offer. So like this, you will be getting extra points, depending if it's inside Montreal or outside Montreal. You can get, if it's inside Montreal, you can get 180 points, extra points on your profile. So then, so this is for regular skilled worker, and then for artificial intelligence pilot program. So this is mainly regarding everything that is related to tech, all the positions related to tech industry. For example, it could be mainly for visual effects stream, also programmers, developers, And the beauty of this program is that you don't need French. So there's the only disadvantage is that you have a quota. So if you don't speak French, normally the government will be send and inform everyone the quota about this program, and you will need to make sure that your position is in the list and the salary is also eligible, because there's a salary that you need to comply, and it needs to be the maximum salary of your position. So we can also help you to determine if your salary is eligible. So these are the main three programs and for Quebec. So let's now change a little bit to work permits. I know you have a lot of questions about work permits. And the first question that I receive very often, it's about what are the types of work permit, and if I can apply without having a job offer. So the answer is yes, you can apply if you don't have a job offer, but we can first explain for the closed work permit. So once you have the job offer, you will need to apply. The first is to apply for a labor market impact assessment. So this is an authorization that the company needs in order to hire you as a temporary foreign worker. And then after you get your LMIA, and if you are in Quebec, in the province of Quebec, you will also need the CAQ. So once you get these approvals, CAQ is Certificate of Acceptance in Quebec. So this is kind of an authorization from the province of Quebec. So with both approvals, you will need to go to the border if you are a non-exempt visa from a non-exempt visa country. You can apply at the border, or you can apply online for the work permit. I will be talking about timelines in the next slide. And the second option is to apply through an LMIA exempt program. So there's a lot of programs as well that they are exempt for LMIA. For example, we have the foreign trade agreements for Peru, Colombia, Korea, Chile, USA, Mexico. So with these foreign trade agreements that are LMIA exempt, it's very fast to get your work permit, since you don't need to get this authorization at the very first application. So once you get this approval for LMIA, the same. If it's an LMIA exempt, you can apply directly for work permit, and it will be close to your employer. So you cannot work for any other employer. It's very important to mention. You can, if you receive another job offer, you can change employer. That's possible, but you need to go through the same process again. Then we have the open work permits. For the open work permits are mainly for people that are accompanying students or workers. It's also like, for example, spouses, they will get an open work permit. And then we have also Canadian graduates for post-graduation work permit that Mona will be talking more about later. And permanent residency applicants, for example, bridging work permit. When you are waiting for your permanent residency, you can apply with the proof that you apply for permanent residency. You can apply for a bridging work permit, that it's an open work permit technically. And also International Experience Canada Working Holiday Visa. So these are the different types of permits. Now, what is very important is to mention about the timelines. So we are using a lot of global talent stream programs because we have a lot of clients in the tech industry, and the beauty of this program is that it's very fast for the LMIA. It's a fast track for tech talent, and it's only 2-week processing time for the LMIA. And if you compare, for example, a high wage and low wage, these two streams are around 6 to 7 weeks. And Canada, Quebec, they have also a program. It's called Simplified Program. So there's also a list of positions that it goes faster, since it's a simplified process, and it goes around 6 to 7 weeks. So then we have also, I would like to talk about the documents. So what are the most important documents that you will need to show when you will be applying for a work permit? So you need to have a valid passport for at least minimum of 3 years, depending on your contract. And then biometrics after submitting your application. Medical exam, depending on your nationality. Some nationalities, you don't need a medical exam. And this needs to be from an authorized and recognized physician. And then your proof of qualification. This is the most important part, because you will need to show to the government that you are qualified to your work, the position that you will be doing here in Canada. You need to show that you have experience and you have a diploma. Some positions, they don't require a diploma. So that's why it's very important to have our help to make sure that you are eligible in case that you don't have a diploma. Then certified translations if the documents are not in French or English. And so this is the main highlights for work permits. I know it's a very interesting subject we can discuss for hours and hours, but for now we can just give you these highlights for work permits. And just if you have questions, you can start sending the questions here in the chat, and we can discuss later in our questions and answers. So for now, Mona, you can continue with the study permits.
Thank you, Melissa. Yes, so I'll be covering the study permits and what they are. First of all, let's talk about study permit. It's a piece of document that you need before you're able to come to Canada and study anywhere you want. Now, after you choose where you want to study, like which institute or which university, you have to go through this website, yes, which is called the Designated Learning Institute. It's a DLI. It's a government has provided this list of all the approved universities and institutes. As you can imagine, there are hundreds of universities in Canada, but not all of them are approved for getting a study permit. So number one, you have to see if the institute you have chosen is within this list. Number two, again, right next to the name of your university, you can see if it's approved for or eligible actually for a postgraduate work permit. What that is that after you're done with your studies, you want to be able to work in Canada. So it's best that you choose an institute that is eligible and covers PGWP afterwards. How it works is that you just choose your institute after you're made sure it's there in the list and it covers PGWP. You go through the requirements of the university. One of the most important ones is the IELTS test. You have to see if it's asking for general or the academic one. Then you submit your application and receive an acceptance letter from the university. As you can see, we have put different ages because the age doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how old you are when you want to try to come to Canada and study. One of the perks of studying in Canada is that your dependents, whether it's your spouse or your common law partner or your child, they will also be eligible to apply with you and receive permits. So for your dependents, for your spouse, you can apply for an open work permit, which allows them to work anywhere with any employee they want. And for your child, they'll be eligible for a study permit. And that allows them to study in any public school for free. So these are some of the great advantages of applying for study permits. I would like to assure you that in our firm, we actually help you through the process of even choosing your institute and going through all the requirements and helping you find the right major, find the right institute, gathering all the documents, and then writing all the letters if needed. Now, what are the documents for a study permit? Number one, getting the acceptance letter from the university, of course. Next one is you have to provide proof that there are ties to your home country. And the reason for is that the government of Canada cares, wants to know if you will leave by the end of your study permit. They want to make sure that there are ties to your country that will make you go back, like your immediate family or your assets. So one of the common reasons we see for rejection is because our clients were not able to provide enough proof to the ties to their country. And we're here to help you with all of that. The next one is proof of funds. You have to be, you have to show that you have enough money to pay for your tuition for the first year of university and also be able to cover all your expenses like rent, your books, anything. All that expenses for yourself and your dependents for the first year. And lastly, it's the letter of explanation. This one is for the government of Canada to understand why you chose Canada of all other places in the world to come and study here. And as I said, there's no age limit. You have to explain why now you have decided to apply for a study permit and what are your goals for the next 5 years. Another common reason for rejection is the letter of explanation, and we see that the reason for that is because it wasn't detailed enough. Very, very important to have all these details in there. Then yes, next slide, please. Okay, perfect. The rest of the documents are a valid passport. It should be valid for a minimum of 2 years. You need all your documents that are not in English or French to be translated by a certified translator. There is a medical exam need based on your nationality. And after you submit your study permit online, you have to do your biometrics. Yes, so after you have done your studies, you graduated, it's now time to apply for a postgraduate work permit. Now, what is a postgraduate work permit? It is actually an open work permit that allows you to work depending on the length of your studies. So, and one of the best things about this open work permit is that you can work for any employer you want within Canada. Now, what I mean by based on the length of your studies, it depends on how long your studies were. For example, if your studies were between 8 to 2 years, you will be eligible to get a PGWP for 2 years. And if your studies were for a longer period of time, like 3 years, you can be eligible to receive a PGWP for 3 years. And the documents you need for the postgraduate work permit are, number one, your study permit should be still valid. You have to show that you have graduated with the transcripts and the diploma and a letter from the university, and you have 180 days to apply online for your PGWP. Now, what my colleague Jerem was talking about, I can actually explain here. So if you don't have enough points when you want to go through express entry, one of the perfect ways to come to Canada, or you just want to come and study in here, doesn't matter. One of the great ways to go and get your citizenship in Canada is through study permit, because once you study here, you're eligible to work. And after you have done work, based on where you have been working and what type of job you've had, you might be eligible to do a permanent residency afterwards and becoming a citizen at the end. So it's a wonderful opportunity to start your journey with studies and then becoming a citizen in Canada. And here, now I will ask my colleague to walk you through relocation.
Thank you, Mona. Okay, once we are ready to travel to Canada, and in the same way, when we arrive in Canada, we face different processes that we must do. In addition to the fact that as individuals and families, we need to feel safe in this new place. And we need to adapt quickly so we can enjoy and be ready for all the opportunities this country can offer to us. For this, we offer the following services that will help you to adapt as soon as possible and really feel this country as your home. For example, before you travel, we can provide you with the documents to show at the airport for you and your family members. The airport pickup, the permanent temporary housing, search, and apartment, and we provide you with 3 to 4 options. We can provide you with information how to get your travel insurance options. And when you arrive in Canada, we can help you to get the social insurance number, the public health insurance, your Canadian phone number, and your driver license. We can help you to book the appointment, and we can assist you with all the documents you need to get your driver license here. The bank account. It is very important to start like your history of credit with your bank account. So we can help you, we can guide you how to open your bank account, where you can look, where your preferred bank is located, etc. We can also help you how to register your children to school or daycare. We also can provide you with consultations about all of these relocation services we have for you. And also we can help, for example, if you come with your spouse, we can help your spouse about the evaluation, guidance for job searching and adaptation, CV preparation, and diploma equivalences. And now we are going to talk about life in Canada, and I will ask Melissa to speak about that with you.
Perfect. Thank you, Connie. Very interesting about our services regarding relocation. So now I would like to finalize our webinar, just giving you an important website that you can use. We can actually share here in our comments, and if probably like Juani, you can post it there to our audience. So this is a Numbeo. So it's a very interesting website where you can see the cost of living. You can actually put a province, like let's say you can put Toronto versus Vancouver to see the difference of the cost of living in each city, and you will see all the different costs. So well, and also we would like to help you, all of you, to come to Canada. And so what is life? How is life in Canada? So it's a very multicultural country, as you can imagine. And we have many languages as well because of this multicultural environment. We have also nature, city life. We have a lot of job opportunities because the government needs people to help here, to work here in Canada. And we also have the top universities in the world. As for example, McGill in Montreal, we also have UBC, and in Vancouver, we also have Toronto University. So that's very, very important for you and your family members to have this access. And Canada is the third happiest country in the world in 2023. And 3 Canadian cities are in the top livable cities in the world. So we have it's Toronto, it's Vancouver, and it's Calgary. And so yeah, so that's it from our end regarding the information. So now we can first of all, I would like to thank you everyone to stay until the end. We have also 20% off in the evaluation. If you would like to take an evaluation with us, we have 20% off for all the people that are connected today. We will be sharing here in the comments as well the link where you can actually book your appointment with us. So we can let me share it here, or Juani, can you share it here? The Calendly, I think I have it here. So yes, we can post here the link where you can actually get your 20% off evaluation. We will be telling you your eligibility, if you're eligible to come to Canada. And so let's start with the question and answer period. So we have some questions about permanent residency. Jaren, do you want to start with those?
Yes. I already saw the question about job offer. Just be careful about this. Not every stream for permanent residency requires to have a job offer. So it depending on your profile. If your profile is has enough score without even securing a job offer, you can be eligible. So as I was telling you, federal skilled worker, Canadian experience class, those mainstreams doesn't require a job offer. Mainly the provincial nomination ones require job offer, but there are also other pathways like master's graduate in Ontario. They don't require a job offer from Ontario company. You need to be very careful. That's why having a professional support is very important, because there is a lot of information. And please don't go to the unofficial website to search for information. This is very critical. And unfortunately, we need to also share here that there are many illegal consultants, I should say, illegal people who are offering services, but just be careful about them. You have to, either you're going to do it by yourself, which is you need to be very, very, very detailed oriented. If not, please make sure you have a professional support. And other thing I saw here about British Columbia, about education, I guess Harsh is asking, right? So for British Columbia tech program, you don't need to have an education, like high level of education, but it's always better to have it, because remember, British Columbia stream is related to Express Entry. You have to be eligible first to open an Express Entry profile. It means that you have to have some education credentials assessed before creating your profile. So this is very important to note. And also, having an education background will also bring you additional points for your British Columbia profile as well. Just make sure the difference between eligibility and good, like must to have versus good to have. These are very important differences, especially in immigration.
Here another question from Ahmed is asking how you can help to secure a job offer and get a work permit. Okay, so this is a very interesting question, Ahmed. So here I will be posting our link to our website. So here you can upload your CV. So like this, we are always, we have all, like a network of companies that are looking for temporary foreign workers as yourself. So once we will get your CV and we see an opportunity that matches with your profile, we will be putting you in contact with this company. We also can offer a consultation to help you how to get in touch with the employers here in Canada. We can help you to improve your CV, because it's very important to mention that the CVs that we are using in other countries, they are very different as the ones that we are using here in Canada. We can actually help you once you get the interview. Let's say you're selected for an interview, we can even prepare you for the interview to maximize your chances to get selected for the job. And so yes, this is regarding how we can help you to secure a job offer. So there's other questions there. Let me see. So we have for artificial intelligence pilot, it is only for programmers who have experience in artificial intelligence. For programmers who work with other tools, are they eligible for artificial intelligence pilot? So, well, yes, Iman. For artificial intelligence in Quebec, there are three different streams. So the first stream is for people that you have, let's say you have experience in artificial intelligence, and then there's a minimum of experience required. And then if you have experience in artificial intelligence, you can apply. You can send us your CV. You can send us just to evaluate. You can also book an evaluation to let you know, because as I say, this is one stream. There's a second stream for visual effect stream, and a third stream about everything that is related to programmers, developers. There's a list for the tech industry as well, but these are the three streams. So it's artificial intelligence if you have experience there. Secondly, if you have experience and you have a job offer in Quebec in a visual effects stream. And the third, if you have experience and you have also a job offer in Quebec related to everything that is in the tech industry, for example, as I say, programmers, developers, and we can assess your profile to see if you are eligible for this program as well. So I have experience. We have another question from Harsh. I have experience in digital marketing, social media. I'm eligible for any of the PMPs. So if you want,
yeah, I mean, for these kind of questions, we suggest you to book a call. That's the thing. We need to assess so many different factors to assess your eligibility. Again, not only eligibility, sometimes you're eligible, but you don't have enough points, or you don't have enough, or you have room to improve your score. We can help you with that. I also saw one thing about having a sibling in Alberta. I'm going to take this question and give a little bit more about details about provincial nomination. Having a sibling will not maybe directly result in getting the invitation, but having a sibling means you have kind of proof that you will be established you are willing to be established in Alberta. I need to highlight that part. For provincial nomination, the difference between express entry and provincial nomination, or I should say, difference between federal level streams and provincial nomination streams are this. Federal means you can live anywhere in Canada. Sometimes outside Quebec, it's a little bit different, but yeah, federal means all over the Canada, no restriction. But if you are going through a provincial nomination pathway, this means that specific province is expecting you to stay in that province after becoming PR. So that's why not only showing your education experience or job offer from the region, you also have to show your willingness to be residing in that province and contributing that specific province's economy. This is very important. Also, I saw something about so job market is in Canada worse. Again, there are a lot of rumors, but thank God Canada is such a company that offers, I can tell you, Melissa, because questions. Some of my friends are saying that job market is Canada worse. Thank God Canada is such a country, records everything. So you can find a lot of factual information about the market conditions when you make your research. We can help you with that. Of course, due to the economic situation all over the world, some sectors are kind of offering less jobs and the other sectors are increasing. It happened during the COVID as well. So for each job sector, for each occupation, we can provide factual information. What is the market status? What is the average wage? What is the option? What are the possibilities for temporary foreign workers to find a job? We can have all this information thanks to Canada's recording habits, basically. So please, again, don't rely on non-official forum-based information. This is very important for your future if you are serious about immigrating to Canada, because I know there's a lot. So what else?
We have another one here from Armand Jaren. It's a IT professional. Is PMP a better primary option to apply for an express to apply than express entry?
Yeah, can be, but again, our target is always focus on the fastest track. If your profile is already eligible to direct stream something like express entry, why bother with a provincial nominee? If that's why during our assessments, we go through each and every step, and then we decide, we first focus on the fastest track. If you don't have enough score for express entry, then we can suggest a provincial nominee. And IT tech professionals are still very much in demand. Just be aware of that, and it will be great to have a consultation so that we can tell you what is the best option. I guess it answers your questions.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you would like to ask today? I think we answered most of the questions.
I can understand Mibangas. I just saw the the information. Miganka, I understand your frustration. You can apply multiple times and cannot be successful. Sometimes it happens. That's why it's very important. I need to mention it here. Canada's immigration process is one of the special ones all over the world because it's kind of offering you the citizenship in very fast track, and they offer you very different pathways. So just you need to be very careful for each step you're going to take. So that's why we always suggest taking a professional advice. Otherwise, yes, it can be a time and it can drain your time and even funds. But once you are on the right track, it will almost guarantee you the whole pathway Mona was talking about, from study or work or directly to passport.
Exactly. We also have here some questions about work permit. When a remote job, is it possible immigrate to Canada with work permit? Let's say you have you would like to come to Canada, Mibanga, and you have a remote job in your home country. You can come to Canada, but you will need, in order to have a work permit, you will need to work for an employer in Canada. So that's why it's important to, in order, as I was explaining, it's important to get your approval for a work permit in order to come to Canada, to get that job offer first, apply for a work permit, and then come to Canada. Great. Any other question? I think we have questions about from Harsh. Is it easier to get a student visa from Alberta as compared to Ontario? Probably Mona, you can answer.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, there's no difference. Wherever you study permits, there are no differences between the provinces at all. It's a federal level, so wherever you apply for.
Exactly. Perfect. So there's not a difference. You can apply any provinces, and it's actually the same process for study permits. The only difference in Quebec, it's an extra step for the CAQ, but other than that, all the other provinces are the same. Perfect. Well, I have here another question about work permit from Rocky. Hello, an ICT work permit holder, if they have less than 50% of shares, can they still go through express entry and experience class? Will the experience be considered self-employed? Well, here's more related to express entry.
We need to assess the shares actually, and exactly the Canadian experience is not counted if you are working for your own company. They can be counted as a foreign work experience, but to be considered to have it eligible for Canadian experience class, it should be a Canadian company, and we should be very meticulous about to explain the relationship that you are having with the company. So as long as everything is truthful, we can show this is not a self-employment. But again, we need to assess all the factors like taxation, the monetary link you have, not only the shares. So I suggest you to book a special consultation for that, for more information.
Exactly. Then any other questions? Okay. And also, in order to answer to Mibanga about when you apply several times for, let's say, for a, can you let us know which type of application you apply several times? Because if it's a study permit, so it's also very important to always, as immigration consultants, we always suggest everyone to get the guidance from an expert, because we also had some clients that they come to us after having refusals, and it's important. Yes, we can help them. We have like some recent cases that we help them to get the approval once, even if they got refused before, we can take care of the application, and we can improve the, like we need to check what is related to the, the comments from the government, the refusal reasons, so then we can prepare a better application. And so for these clients, they receive an approval, and they are now here in Canada. So that's why, if you had this bad experience, you also have some hope there, so we can help you, and we can help you to prepare the best application, so we can you can apply and try again. So do we have any other questions? Well, we are sharing as well the link for the job bank. So don't hesitate to send your CV there, all your information. We will be sharing with the employers here in Canada. We have actually some openings related to cybersecurity that we are actually sharing in our social media. But if you are in the cybersecurity field, or someone that is in this field, please contact us, and we can also share the position that we have available. Any other questions related to our information today? If not, if you don't have any other questions, so please follow us, as we say, in our platforms, and also you have our links also for the evaluation. You will be getting 20% discount, and we will be evaluating your profile. And as Jaren say, it's very important to be aware of these frauds that are out there. There's a lot of immigration consultants that are ghost consultants. They are not real consultants. So just to let you know, you can even search our names on the immigration college here in Canada, and you can find that we are regulated, and we can give us all our expertise from more than 10 years of experience. We can actually share all our expertise and help you to come to Canada as soon as possible. Perfect. So, well, I think that's it. Do you want to add something else, Jaren, Mona, Juani? Everything is good.
It was pleasure having you all, and I hope we answered most of your questions, and we are excited to start working with you.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very, very much for joining, and hopefully we can help you to come to Canada very soon. See you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.